Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about comparing fractions. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do that. First of all, if you're given two fractions to compare, the first thing you want to do is draw a picture of both fractions. When you're drawing a picture of both fractions, it's important to make sure you have about the same size circle that you're working with for both fractions, okay? So for this fraction, I'm going to cut it in half and then color in half of it like this because it's 1/2. So I divided it into two pieces and colored in one because that's my numerator. For this fraction, I'm dividing it into fifths. So I'm going to start by drawing my fifths. And okay. And it's not perfect, but close enough, okay? And over here on this side, we're going to color in two of those sections. So I've got one, and I've got two sections. So when you're looking at these fractions, it's kind of hard to tell which one has more colored in, just because the sections are very similar. So when you have a picture and the picture is not very clear about which fraction has less space colored in, and when I say space, I don't mean less pieces, because this only has one piece colored in, but this one has two pieces colored in. You can't compare it that way because, first of all, these fractions don't have the same denominator. They have different denominators, which means they're split into different kinds of parts. This is split into only two sections, so the pieces are much bigger. And this one's split into 5 sections, so the sections are much smaller. So even though this one has one section colored in, and this one has two colored in, you would say two's bigger. That's not necessarily always true, because those two pieces are actually going to be much smaller than this one piece over here. So we still can't really decide definitively which one is larger, which one the gator is going to eat. So we're going to do a trick called cross multiplying. You're going to start down here at this denominator and draw an arrow up to the numerator. 2 times 2 is what we're doing here. 2 times 2 is 4. And you can just write the number 4 up here. I always like to circle it or something so I know that's the number I'm looking at. Next, you're going to multiply 5 times 1. 5 times 1 is 5. So these numbers are very close, and as you can see, our fractions are very close together, but one of them is larger. 5 is larger than 4, so we know that at the end of the day, 1/2 is going to be greater than 2/5. Even though the section has less pieces colored in, this one section is bigger than both of those sections combined, because this is only split into 2 pieces, and this one's split into 5. That's why you cross multiply to find your answer. All right, let's try another one real quick. Let's try 2/3 and let's do 5/6. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a picture for both of these, a model. I'm going to divide this into 3 sections because that's my denominator. I'm going to divide this into 6 sections because that is my denominator over here. Over here, I'm going to color in 2 pieces because that is how much our numerator is. Okay, not perfect, but good enough. And over here, this one has 5 pieces, so we're going to color in 5 of those 6 pieces. Okay, so you might be thinking, well, looks pretty obvious to me which one has more parts colored in. Yeah, but it's pretty close. So we're going to want to cross multiply, just to double check and make sure that whichever fraction you're thinking is the bigger one is the bigger one. So let's go ahead and cross multiply 2 times 5. 3 times 5. 3 times 5 is 5, 10, 15. So I'm going to write 15 at the top. Next, we're going to do 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I'm going to write 12 over here. 15 is larger than 12, so the gator's going to eat that one, and so that means that this fraction is larger than this fraction. So you would read this as 2/3 is less than 5/6, and that would be true because the gator is eating 5/6. Now, there is a way to do it without cross multiplying. That only works if you have the same denominator, okay? Same denominator. You don't have to cross multiply because this one's split into 4 pieces and this one is split into 4 pieces. So for this one, you only are figuring out which one has more colored in. For this one, all the spaces are the same. All the different pie pieces you're coloring in are the exact same size. So here, it's very obvious that this one has 3 and this one has 2, so this one is going to be greater than? Because of the simple fact that they are both divided into 4s, okay? You're not always going to get lucky and have the same number on the bottom, though. So when you have different numbers on the bottom, it's really important that you cross multiply. I always like to cross multiply anyways, just to double check. So if I cross multiplied here, 4 times 3 would be 12, and 4 times 2 would be 8. And 12 is larger than 8. So that just double checks me, make sure that I got the right fraction selected for my larger fraction. Good luck, guys, and let me know if you need any help at all.